Yeah, so to expand on that, because someone asked me about it. So basically, we had a problem where people, the old system, forced people into this, frenetic mode to get shipments ordered. So truck drivers would show up and they'd have to suddenly start running the shipping process and get all this paperwork. And when you're shipping certain things, you may have to have all kinds of documents. You may have to have ITAR documents. You may have to have, NAFTA documents. You may have dozens of documents you have to produce now to ship things. And that's a real burden. So what we devise is what we call ship to stage. And this is well within all fiduciary control. So a person could say, hey, we got a big shipment going out Thursday. It's going to Caterpillar. So we got to get that ready. We can't get that ready in 5 seconds. So, and of course, it's being produced as we're talking. So the sales orders would get produced into a shipment. We'd stack it, get it ready. We'd run all the paperwork. We'd have it in a folder ready for the driver. It's ready, but it hadn't been confirmed yet. And the material had been moved from, its location in production or throughout all the bins. It now coalesced into what we called stage. It had shipped to stage. So everyone could go in there and look what's in stage. This is the stuff that's ready to ship. Paperwork's ready. It can be invoiced as soon as we confirm it. And this is the key. So we may have 150 shipments in there. And at the end of the night, the shipping office would call me and say, hey, we've confirmed. And then maybe of the 150 they had staged out there, they confirmed 65 for the day. So they would go in there and they'd confirm what they'd ship. And then I'd run the invoices on the confirmed shipments. This is stuff that actually title transfer, it's out the door and it's gone. So in this way, you can keep ahead of the shipments and the chaos on the shipping dock, because you're taking the material. The system we had allowed us to do this. We were able to ship to a stage location, and then we could confirm at the end of the day what we shipped. Invoice would only touch the orders that had been confirmed. This is a really important concept. That's why I have to make a longer video on it, because people don't understand that. Because we in the early days, we encountered people playing games where they'd shove stuff on trucks. That's what JIT stands for, right? Not just in time. It means jam it on trucks. And they jam it on the truck and they say, well, it's shipped. We can get our numbers for the month. Well, you can't do that. It has to actually title transfer. And that's what we protected the company against, any of that attempted. I don't want to quite call it fraud, but it could be fraud, right? It could be fraud because if someone's trying to inflate their numbers, they can say, well, we shipped that. Well, now they returned it. So they could play those kind of games. Well, we didn't allow them to do that because they had to confirm it. And we could go check. We could look at a stage report. We could go on the dock and say, what is actually really here? So if something went out the door and they didn't confirm it, which can happen, people can ship stuff and they don't confirm it and you won't get invoiced. We'd take that stage report and go out there and say, where's this order? Oh yeah, I forgot to confirm that. So then we'd have to call the customer and say, do you really have this? Yeah, we really do. Okay, now we can confirm it. All that kind of crazy, you guys know all this crazy stuff goes on in a shipping dock. And you have these mass docks, all kinds of crazy stuff. So you have to protect yourself and your company, because stuff can get shipped out and never invoiced. It gets shipped out and it gets lost, right? A customer starts calling you, say, hey, where's our shipment? Well, did we confirm that? Well, no, we never did confirm it. So where did it go? We don't know. See, that's why you have to have these controls in place. So to recap, what we did is we created a system, a location called, it was really staged, meaning this is ready to be shipped. The paperwork's printed. It can be picked up at any time. You can call the customer, you can call the trucking department, but you're going to be on time for shipment when the truck arrives. The trucker loves it because his paperwork's ready. He's not waiting around for someone to fix a printer, or reboot the computer, or whatever the heck, all that jazz that goes on. So it's ready. Boom, you're out the door, and we could keep those trucks rolling. Number two, we always knew what was ready to be shipped. So if a customer is calling the salesperson or the production or scheduling people saying, hey, is my order ready to ship? You could go look in the stage report, really simple report we created. Yeah, it's ready to ship. Hey, we need you to ship that 2 days early. Okay, we can do that. You're going to send a truck? Yeah, we're going to send a truck now. So you have that leeway. Or someone could call and say, hold that shipment. Okay, how long do you want us to hold it? Well, we're not sure right now. Okay, so at least you can move it out of the way, or you could tell people, hey, that shipment may not go. and then you could pull the order back, because sometimes it happens all the time. You guys know all the nervousness in the supply chain. And then, so they would ship their orders. They would go onto the screen, select confirm. Now that means it's really been title transferred. They'd call me at the end of the day at 5 o'clock, say, hey, we're done. I'd run invoices on those shipments that had confirmed for the day. And then you could see what's out there really ready to ship. And what we added a screen, which actually was we fed data to a Excel spreadsheet that updated every 5 minutes. And when the day started, the board was all red, meaning this stuff needs to be shipped and it has not yet hit staged, meaning this is what you need to get ready. They had 2 screens. One showed what they should be staging, and the other one is what's ready for shipment and what has not shipped yet. So at the end, they could balance out. They could watch and see, hey, we're getting behind. Where's production on these orders? Because these orders need to be shipped to meet the deadline for the truck. Our other board was, okay, what are we planning on shipping today, and what have we shipped? And with weather and everything else, you can say, hey, there's going to be stuff that didn't get shipped today. All right, so you may have to reschedule. You need to know this because it's going to affect your revenue stream and your month-end reports and your quarter-end reports and your year-end reports, right? Because with all the weather disruptions, you may not make your numbers, because if you've got 2 $5 million orders sitting there ready to go and the truck can't arrive, and the calendar year's turn, you just lost $10 million of revenue for 2022. It's going to go in 2023. But again, with you're dealing with shareholders and private equity guys and people's bonuses on the line, you guys know all this jazz. People get upset. So anyway, that's why the concept of ship to stage is vitally important. It seems simple, but once you have that control, you can really dictate how your company runs more efficiently, because you can get stuff to stage on time, so you make your on-time delivery, so your customer's happy, because everyone knows, like Caterpillar or John Deere or Eli Lilly or whoever, they're going to give you an on-time delivery report, and they're going to hold your feet to the fire. So that's why you got to say, hey, is this shipment going to make it? Because our on-time delivery report with let's say you're at 75% with Caterpillar, and they're madder than hell at you. You're like, hey, we got to get that up into the 90s. So that's how you can start gauging, like, hey, am I going to keep my customer happy? Because you can know, hey, these shipments are going to make it, right? Yeah, they're on the dock, they're ready to go. All things, the weather looks good, everything. Because weather, you might be able to argue with Cat on weather, but you can't argue with Cat if you just didn't have the stuff ready. And of course, if it's not going to make it to stage, you need to start backing into the production system, going like, hey, why aren't we making this? Well, the parts didn't arrive. Okay, you need to get on with that vendor and say, hey, where are our parts at? And where I worked for about 20 years, we had the unenviable position that we were a major supplier. I mean, our major customer was Caterpillar. Okay, so they were like our world, but our suppliers that supplied us were 10 times bigger than us. So Caterpillar was a giant customer, and our suppliers, well, we were just piddly to them. So we were in a bad situation. So that's why we really had to manage the shipment process, because everything depends on getting that stuff across the finish line to the customer on time. Anyway, that's a long discussion on stage shipping. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll keep you updated. Take care.